This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, we are at tip number 10 in terms of setting up your company in China. And I'm Christina Kohler-Coluccia from Woodburn Accountants and Advisors. And I'm here today to talk to you about human resources. So talking literally about how to employ people. Well, first of all, find the right people, get the right candidates, what are the employment regulations, etc. So I've just got basic requirements listed on this slide to kind of go through with you as a guideline in terms of the human resource aspects for China. So obviously, how do you find the right talent? And there are numerous avenues that you can utilize to find the right talent. One is if you've got a WeChat account, use that network to basically get introduced to people that might be interested to work for you. Alternatively, you have online HR providers like China HR, 51job.com, etc. But the stipulation is that your company needs to be registered and you need to obviously provide your business license to utilize their services. But that is a fantastic way for you to have basically a candidate pool online where you can start reaching out and contacting people. Currently, with COVID regulations, the easiest way to interview people would be through the WeChat avenue. Another way to find the right talent is obviously through HR headhunters and professionals. You can then find the right talent and pick the right candidates out for you and do that filtering process. But once you've got candidates on hand, one of the key things you have to think about is what are the employment regulations? What can you do and what can you not do? And one of the things that I think most companies make the assumption of is that they can just adapt what they're doing in their home jurisdiction and just implement that in China. That's not the case. You've got to follow Chinese labor regulations to know exactly what you can and cannot do when you're employing. You have to drop the contract, so you definitely have to have an employment agreement. You have to have an employee handbook so that you have legal rights in terms of terminating staff as well. The biggest tip I can give you is that if you find that a candidate is not a right fit for your organization, get rid of them. Don't keep them on board because you have a fear that it might rock the boat internally or it might rock the boat with clients. If they are just simply not the right fit, I guarantee you psychologically you're going to stop communicating with them and your business just simply can't grow. All right, you need to make sure you've got the right people within your organization. When you're thinking about salary compensation, you've got to think about what is the gross salary level, what are the social insurances that have to be paid, and then what are the personal income tax obligations. In regards to the salary, social insurances, and personal income tax obligations, don't forget that you can also Google salary guidelines China, and you will get numerous free salary guidelines from HR professionals where you can investigate what are the right salary levels for the positions that you're looking to hire. And it's a fantastic tool for you to get an understanding of what is the current market level in terms of salaries. Now, obviously, once you find people, contracts are signed, employee handbooks are signed, salaries are negotiated, social insurance is all set up, then and the payroll system is all set up as well. And then don't forget one critical aspect. You've got to help your employees settle in. I feel like with all the work that's done prior to that, that is the aspect that companies forget to do, is train the employees, pay attention to them, communicate with them, get into a habit of calling your China team and having these team meetings on a daily basis, if not daily, then at least weekly basis, so you know what is happening in your China office. Don't forget to settle them in and maintain that communication. Key considerations for employment in China is just remember that for Chinese employees that are residing in mainland China, they have to pay personal income tax and they have to pay social insurance. A lot of companies use their startup phase, the pre-investment phase, to hire individuals on freelance agreements where there is absolutely no contract and they're just remitting salaries left, right, and center. This can get very difficult and you don't want to get into those situations because it is an extremely gray area. If a Chinese employee is working and is residing in mainland China, they should be hired by a mainland Chinese entity, registered entity, and income tax and social insurance should be paid. If you are hiring foreign employees in China that are residing in mainland China, don't forget they need a work permit and residence visa. They also have to pay personal income tax, and in some cities, social insurance will be applicable as well. So make sure you know the ins and outs about the employment and that there are no gray areas. Keep in mind when you're incorporating your entity, you cannot hire anybody until that business license is issued. That's a global standard, okay? You need to make sure your business license is issued so you're hiring people at the appropriate time. Basic documents that you should try and obtain from candidates that you are looking at is proof of university degrees, passport copies or mainland Chinese ID card copies, and reference letters or termination letters, basically proof of previous work experiences so that you can also follow up on that. And these are all things together with the employment contract and employee handbook that should be kept together in a file in relation to each of the employees that you're looking to hire. This is, again, a way for you to understand a little bit how the human resource aspects work once your company is established, what documents you have to maintain, and how you have to function from a back-end operational perspective to remain compliant. And if you've got any questions about HR issues, don't hesitate to reach out. That's what I'm here for. Happy to advise you on those procedures and steps. Take care and goodbye.